All right, guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be jumping into some gossip. I'm not really into the gossip stuff, but sometimes it rubs in a place where it's like, okay, you have to kind of, address it. Some things that you just want to say, put your 2 cents in the bucket like everybody else does, right? So right now we have a situation with Jonah Hill, him and his ex-girlfriend. They shouldn't be a thing anymore, but it seems as if the internet thinks they still are, in the sense of that's all we hear nowadays about them. And rumors are he's going to get canceled for some text messages from about 34 years ago or something like that. And I'm one of those people that I can't understand what the issue is. I don't see what was necessarily wrong with what he said, honestly. Let's look at that message real quick. All right, so this is the text message that he apparently sent her a while back, December 2nd, 2021, right? He writes, plain and simple, if you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate relationships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places, and from your wild recent past, getting a lunch beyond getting a lunch or a coffee or something respectful, I'm not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are the boundaries for a romantic partnership. Okay, my boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust. Nobody ever brings up that last part right there. My boundaries with you based on the way these actions have hurt our trust. What does that tell me? That tells me this isn't the first time they've had this conversation. All right. If we want to go checklist by checklist, I don't see a single thing wrong with what he said. Oh, Morgan, how in the world can you say that? How can you think that? This is a relationship. There's two people in it, right? In my mind, I think to myself, okay, that's a boundary. A relationship is nothing if not a boundary. We are expected to do certain things and expected not to do certain things within that boundary of the relationship, right? So in my mind, I think to myself, what's the issue here? Is he saying you better do this or what? Or he'll leave and he wishes you the best? Is that the worst thing we could do today as a society? I feel like today's society is like, oh, men can have values. Men can't say, okay, I'm not going to accept that. Everything should be, yes, ma'am, yes, queen, Like, no, certain things you can say, I won't accept that. Can one person say, well, oh, that's too much for me? You all know where the door is. The same way you came in is the same way you can go back out. It's not one of those situations where you're a hostage. This isn't some countries that we're not going to name where you're trapped in a relationship. That wasn't even a marriage. They were dating. Oh, he was being controlling. Is being controlling saying I won't accept this, and this? That's controlling? I don't understand. Maybe there's a definition of controlling that fits this that I just don't know about. But setting standards under which you will engage with somebody sounds like proper boundary setting to me. Again, I read the thing that says at the bottom, see the misuse of the term boundaries, and all they want to talk about how boundaries are boundaries that you set on yourself. There are boundaries that you set in a relationship, but we're going to pretend that that's not a thing. We're going to pretend that this guy is just, one of those tough guys who's imposing his will on a woman, and how dare he do this? Okay, he has an issue with his significant other wearing a bathing suit and she's a surfer. I see that could be an issue, 100%, right? And that's the point where everybody says, oh, he's being ridiculous. How can you expect her not to wear a bathing suit when she's a surfer? She's also a surf instructor. How can you expect her not to go and surf with men. All that may be very reasonable objections to saying, okay, he's going above and beyond. Until you realize this is all voluntary, people. He doesn't have to stay with her. She doesn't have to stay with him, nor did she. I don't see a single thing saying these are my standards. If you don't like it, bye. Live your best life. In fact, he basically says he wishes you happiness. Go enjoy it. You just won't enjoy it with me. What's the issue with that? I feel like we live in a world where people have this idea of come as you are and be whatever you want to be and act however you want to be. Irresponsible or irregardless to the fact that you are in a relationship, you are in a partnership. If one person does not agree, you don't sit there and shame them and call them controlling. You simply say, well, this is not a fit for me. That's it. That is quite frankly it. Clearly he found somebody who would agree with his terms. He's engaged and he's just had a child. Which brings me to my next topic. Anybody find it a little bit suspicious that all of this stuff comes out after, on the very same day that his child is born? Does that sound like a person that cares? Oh, she wanted to make sure this came out after she gave birth to not undue stress on the mother. You didn't give two craps about the mother. You did not give one piece of garbage about that mother. This was about you. And that's a person that doesn't understand the terms boundaries, okay? She needs to set some boundaries about her interactions with her exes. How many years later? What purpose does this serve? Are you being blamed for something? Are you being ridiculed for something Jonah Hill said about you in a past relationship? Is this why this is coming up now? I never heard of this woman. I still don't even know her name now. I know what she looks like, but I have heard nothing about her outside of what she said about Jonah Hill. I rest my case. Nobody saves a text message from 2021, we're in 2023, post it with good intentions. Sometimes it's good to look at a circumstance through the eyes of the person who's posting it. What's their intentions? What's their motives? And that tells you a lot more about who that person is than the words on that page. Let's move on to our next offender. And our next offender, Keke Palmer. I don't have much to say about this one besides if you are in a monogamous relationship, you should understand exactly what's wrong with all of this. Okay? Everyone who's jumping up to defend this, sorry, you're gonna have to miss me on that one. If she's an actress, I don't think this was acting. I think she looked like she was a fan. She was acting like she's a fan, having the time of her life. I had to put up this peach thing here because I didn't want YouTube to tell me this is not age appropriate. Hopefully it's good like this. But my point still remains. We live in a society where men can't have standards, where men are apparently supposed to accept any and everything that happens within or without or outside of a relationship. Yes, he's not married, but they still have a relationship. They have a child together. And this is how you're embracing and partying and dressing in public. Hey, have standards, right? I know for myself, I wouldn't accept that. Clearly, he wouldn't accept that. And I would only believe that at some point this conversation was had. If not, hey, it needed to be had then, obviously, right? What I will say is I'm a little bit torn about the back and forth. And I'm going to show you guys what I mean by that. So he posts this message on Twitter. It's about the outfit. It's the outfit, though. You a mom. Basically, you're a mother. You shouldn't be dressing like that. You should dress more appropriately. You have a certain image to maintain as a mother. I'm not even going to go that far. You know? I'm going to simply say you are in a dedicated relationship. So why are you the one showing your butt cheeks to the world while dancing on stage with Usher, skin to skin? Why? For those women out there that are saying, oh, she didn't do anything wrong, I said, let's bring up the male equivalent to that. Let's say he was on stage in a Speedo dancing with some woman on stage, hug it up, hold her real tight, having a good time. There's a lot of you that's going to say what you need to say in order to not seem like a hypocrite, but the truth is you wouldn't want that. That wouldn't be acceptable, right? And I say that's the equivalent because if a man wears something like that, we both know that'd be an issue, right? But then again, she dresses like that, has everything out there, a man at home, a kid at home, and the world jumps up to defend her. Defend? What is there to defend in this? You're in their relationship. You want to be a single woman and go out there and do what you want to do, then you do what you want to do. But I believe, as this man says, there are boundaries in a relationship, and you cross those boundaries. Let's go over here and look at what he said about this on Twitter beyond this post. And I agree. We live in a generation where a man of the family does not want the wife of the wife and mother of his kids to showcase booty cheeks to please others, and he gets told how much he's a hater. How much of a hater he is. This is my family and my representation. I have standards and morals to what I believe. I rest my case. I don't believe it was the best case scenario for him to go online and take his grievances on the internet and spread this around. But the way I have to look at it is he was blatantly disrespected in public, but the world expected him to respond to this in private. I can see the story being told right now. I guess there's no difference because they're still saying it. But if he didn't say anything, if he didn't address this in a public manner, instead addressed it with her in a private manner, and she ends up walking away, she lives her best life. You know what she's gonna go on shows like The View and whoever else and talk and say? Oh, he was insecure. He's insecure. I was dressed half naked, showing my butt cheeks and throwing it at Usher, but he was the one that was insecure. What about the thirst? No, there was no thirst there. There was no overjoyed enthusiasm to be something less than his partner. No, I believe that we need to come to a place as a culture, as a generation, as he says, and realize that there are boundaries in relationships. Do those boundaries get blurred and crossed at times? Yes. But I can't, with the faithful conscience of knowing how I would have handled something. I'm not someone to go post something on Twitter. I don't do Twitter. I don't do social media like that. But in what shape or form can you expect a man who was blatantly disrespected in public to go in and whisper about it in his house? I can't. I can't imagine my reaction to something like that. I can't, because I know at the end of the day, she would not want her boyfriend wearing some Speedo on stage like a male stripper, because that's what she looked like. She looked like a female stripper on stage. She wouldn't want him to dress like that. She wouldn't want him dancing and grinding on somebody on stage while singing sultry music. No, that would be very inappropriate. But because she's a woman and we're all about female empowerment, to the detriment of the family, this is the things that we have to fight back and remind people that the world has standards, and we should have standards for men and women. That's all I got to say on the topic. It went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but that's my 2 cents on that, guys. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Let me know about it in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one, all right? Peace.